Welcome to the Westside Rowing Club. Here at Westside, there are a lot of moving parts. This video, along with the official US Rowing safety video, is a great way to familiarize yourself with what we do here. This is rowing. An experienced crew moves together efficiently. This particular boat is an 8-person shell, often abbreviated to just the word 8. You might have noticed the 8 shell has 9 people in it. The person sitting in the rear of the boat is known as the coxswain. The coxswain is responsible for steering the boat as well as a few other vital jobs. There are a few different common types of rowing shells, some with or without a coxswain. This shell is known as a 4. Like with the 8, although there are 5 people, only 4 are rowing, so we refer to it as a 4. As you get more experienced in rowing, you may get the opportunity to row a boat without a coxswain, such as a boat with only one rower we call a single. At the beginning of a practice, a coach might ask you to get a set of oars for your boat. At Westside, oars are hung in racks near the boats. Slide the oar to the end of the rack and thread it down. Remember, oars are close to 9 feet in length, so in order to safely get an oar off the rack, checking your surroundings is a must. Once you have an oar off the rack, most coaches ask that you bring the oar down to the metal fence near the docks. The oars are arranged with the blade up and the handle down on the ground. When a boat is brought down to the dock, the oars set against the fence are now easy to reach and load into the boat. When practice is over, putting the oars away is simply the reverse of bringing them down. Rowing coaches use motorboats, referred to as launches, to follow crews around on the water. At Westside, we keep our launches on dollies and manually roll them down to the water. Before bringing a launch down to the water, grab a red gas container from the cabinet and gently put it somewhere in the launch near the engine. Also, there is a small drainage hole at the rear of the motor launch. This is to drain any rainwater out that might fall overnight. There is a small plug in every launch. Simply put the plug in and pull the tab sideways. Once you have made sure both the gas tank is in the launch and the plug is in, you and several teammates can bring the launch down to the water. This is a multi-person task, as the loose rocks on the ground can make it easy to slip when carrying a launch alone. Once the launch is brought down to the water, untie it from the dolly. The launch dolly should be far enough in the water that it can easily float off. One of the people helping out should grab the line that was tied to the dolly and tie it to the launch dock. Then, bring the dolly out of the water and up out of the way of the other dollies. Now you're ready to bring a rowing shell down to the dock. This part of practice requires everyone handling the shell not talk unless it is an absolute emergency. Rowing shells are expensive and talking only leads to mistakes. Your coxswain or coach will instruct you on how to get the boat out. Common phrases include hands on and walk it forward. One of the coxswain's many responsibilities is leading the boat down to the water by holding onto it. The boat is brought down to the dock. All 8 rowers put it overhead, and it is rolled into the water. Once the boat is in the water, all the oars are brought down to it. Let's take a moment to go over the anatomy of a boat. This is what the inside of a boat looks like. The long part that sticks off the side is called a rigger. On the end of the rigger is the oar lock. This can be opened to place an oar into. The seats roll back and forth on the slide. In a rowing shell, there are shoes which use Velcro to secure your feet. Once all 8 oars have been locked into the oar locks, your coxswain and coach will call you into the boat. When on the water, it is important to keep in mind the tips provided in the official U.S. rowing safety video. Keep alert and listen to your coach or coxswain. The number one cause of an incident on the water is panic. When the crew sits still and holds their oars, it is impossible to flip. To give you an idea of how important your oar is to the stability of your boat, watch as a large wave passes by this 8 shell from a passing motor launch. See as the boat is unharmed by the wake. The same can be said for the people in these single shells. A wave passes by, but the rower remains calm and is unaffected by it. But when our rower in a single shell pulls her oar in, even on flat water, she falls in. Keeping your oar on the water is vital to keeping the boat set. Flipping a shell is a rare, almost impossible event, but this scenario highlights why paying attention and remaining calm are important parts of rowing. There are other alternatives to going out on the water that the Westside Rowing Club offers. This is our indoor training room. We call it the erg room. An ergometer, or erg, is like a treadmill for a rower. An erg is largely used to improve a rower's cardio and endurance. An erg, unlike a boat, requires sneakers or similar shoes to use. The monitor on an erg has important information that a rower can use. This is the rowing tank room. These large tanks are designed to simulate rowing on the water more accurately than erg machines. The use of a real oar helps rowers practice placing their oar in and out of the water and following people in front of them. Remember, good rowing is all about matching up with the other people in your boat, and the tanks are great for rehearsing. While the erg is designed for endurance training, the tanks are designed for technique training. Also located in the tank room is an area for exercise circuits and weightlifting. The Westside Rowing Club also features locker rooms with showers, a full kitchen, and a meeting room for events. As a member of the Westside Rowing Club, everyone has a responsibility to clean up after themselves and respect each other. Westside has been around for over 100 years and runs largely on volunteers and alumni pitching in, so remember to stay respectful of not just people, but the facilities. The Westside Rowing Club houses teams of all ages from all different schools and backgrounds. This includes middle school rowing, high school rowing, collegiate rowing, and masters rowing. When rowing for Westside, it doesn't matter what school you go to. Everyone is part of a larger picture and should treat each other accordingly. Now you're ready to get on the water. Remember, accidents will happen in your time rowing. What is important is that you learn the club's rules and pay attention to your surroundings when at practice. Finally, enjoy your time rowing and go Westside.